Hello everyone. It's Debbie Chen. We're sitting here talking about only the essentials for you. Welcome. So glad you are here and getting ready for the next day and so forth. And our topic for today is appropriately, since we're coming up on Halloween and harvest festivals. Maybe your church already had one, but we're talking about masks. And we come to a certain age where maybe for so long we've really felt like we've had to. Hey Giovanni, good to see you. We've felt like we've had to wear a mask for different reasons. Like, for example, why would we put on a mask? Do you find that you have trouble voicing your thoughts? Or maybe you smile at jokes that really aren't funny, but you're just more concerned that other people might not accept you. Does anybody feel that way? Or maybe you're just afraid to take a position. I'll say it, the elections are coming up and some people are afraid to voice their own opinion because they get cut down by others, unfortunately. But it really still comes down to, are you truly being who you are and who you really meant to be? Because why are we not showing that? And I think a lot of times it's because we're not as comfortable with really who we are. Because when I was first kind of putting this topic together, I was thinking about, well, everybody has masks on, and so how do I rip off other people's masks, right? Well, no. No. Hey, Marsha, good to see you. No, it doesn't work that way. And in fact, if you even Google that, you probably won't find anything. So it comes down to how to help us deal better with others by being our real selves. And would you guys agree that we kind of live in a day and age where people really want to connect, social media or whatnot, but we're not really wanting to be real, not really wanting to be even authentic. So, and maybe that's because, again, we just really aren't comfortable with who we are. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Maybe we really don't know what our strengths are. Hey, it's only okay, so I'm 53. So just last year, I think it was, and this is what I highly recommend if you guys haven't done it. Gallup has what's called a Strengths Finder poll, and it's very minimal cost. And it really gets into, you go through a series of questions and so forth, and then you can find out what your strengths are. But here's the cool thing. There's no such things as weaknesses. They're your strengths and your lesser strengths. And what's really neat is it really helps give a perspective of how then, once you know what your strengths are, and maybe where you're less strong, okay, so where do I need to find help for those areas that I'm not as strong in? And that can apply for your marriage, working relationships, business relationships, of how you can then actually collaborate using everyone's strengths. So, of course, that also comes down to, we have to be real. We have to be vulnerable. Ooh, the V word, right? And that's something we're definitely going to be talking about. So this is something, does this sound like a kind of interesting or a topic? Because we're going to talk about it tonight and as well in tomorrow. So when it comes to being comfortable with yourself and figuring out what your strengths are, there are lots of options too. If I've gone through a lot of personal development and growth over the last year and a half, and there have been some great courses that I've plugged into. One's called I'm Fabulous, one's called I'm Worthy, and they just really find who you are authentically and really rely on your gifts and talents and abilities and all that good stuff that's already been poured into you. So maybe would you say another reason maybe we all put on masks, and maybe not all the time, but maybe we put on masks in different situations, maybe at work versus being at church versus being in a social setting. So would you say that maybe another reason we do that is because we so rely on other people's opinions? So it really comes down to, hey, Kathy, good to see you. It comes down to choosing whose opinion really matters. And do we, it's that balance between caring what people think and being defined by that. And basically there was I'm going to have to quote this because I was reading this really good article about masks, believe it or not, in a Forbes magazine article, which I highly recommend it. And it said that people who care about your success and won't abandon you when you mess up, basically the people who are with you in thick and thin, those are the ones that you are very safe. Those are the persons you can be safe in practicing your vulnerability and by sharing struggles, because you know that no matter what, they're not going to walk away going, "Oh yeah, no," you know. And that is so important. And I can think of one example. Definitely comment below if you can think of an example of that has really helped you with, peeling off a mask in a different situations. I can think of one example where I was part of a mom's group with homeschooling my kids as they were growing up, and everyone always just like, they just had it together. They were coiffed. They were, they work out at the gym, the whole thing. They just had everything seemed well put together. And I always look at these people like, oh, I don't measure up. I am not worthy. I am not worthy. Anybody ever feel like that? Yeah, but I mean, the struggle was real, people. And I remember one time, one of those perfectly put together moms in a small group setting said, "You know what? I'm really struggling. I'm struggling with XYZ, and I think my jaw just fell to the floor." And everyone else like, "Oh my gosh, me too, me too. Oh, you struggle with that? Oh yeah, I struggle with that. Sorry about this lighting; it's getting all like turning different colors. I'm struggling. And it was like this huge breaking and releasing where people were willing to take off their masks, be vulnerable, and they probably felt comfortable for the first time to really be real. Because one of the beautiful things about when you're really real and authentic, you don't know who has been waiting to hear or to be influenced by what you have to share. And that's something I really want to talk more about tomorrow, and definitely have a conversation about. If any of this has been of any value, please comment below. Any thoughts, comments, opinions, suggestions, please comment below for sure if you thought it was of any value. And please go ahead and share it too with family and friends if you felt it was worth sharing. But I just really appreciate you guys coming on here tonight. And of course, we'll be on here same time, same bat channel at 9 o'clock tomorrow. But we'll talk about more about the mask and really being more real and raw and authentic, and the amazing, beautiful blessings that come out of that. So anyway, thanks for joining in for tonight, and looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye.